Welcome back to the series where I give new teams to various trainers in the Pokemon world. The main goal of this series is to give all major trainers new teams I believe fit them the most. In this video, I'll be going over all the changes I'd make to all the major trainers in the Alola games. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time and get started. Now when it comes to the Alola games, they don't really have gym leaders. So instead, we'll be going over the trial captains and kahunas in the order you encounter them. So that means we'll be starting with Captain Alima. His team will be Yungoos, Smeargle, and Eevee. His original two team members are honestly a perfect fit, so the only new addition here is Eevee, based on the one he uses in the anime. Next is Hala. His team will be Makuhita, Throh, and Crabrawler. Although not a sumo wrestler like Makuhita, Throh still makes for a great new addition. It's a fighting type with its own unique fighting style, and shares a similar body type to Makuhita and Hala himself. Lana. Now although you don't battle her when you take on her trial, I always imagined you would, so this would be her team if battling her was part of the trial. Brionne, Dewpider, and Wishiwashi. Brionne is here to give her the water type Alolan starter much like her anime counterpart. And as for Dewpider and Wishiwashi, they are here because they represent the water types you can catch at her trial site. Kiawe. His team will be Alolan Marowak, Magmar, and Turtonator. Marowak and Turtonator are perfect choices for him thanks to the anime, but Magmar is here because there's a lot of Magmar all around his hometown of Paniyola, so that's a nice way to represent his home. Mallow. Her team will be Fomantis, Bellossom, and Steenie. Fomantis is here to represent the evolutionary line of the Totem Laurentis she has you face. And as for Bellossom, I mean, come on. It's a hula dancing grass type. That's a perfect choice for the Alolan grass type expert Mallow. Olivia. Her team will be Carbink, Alolan Graveler, and Midday Lycanroc. Carbink and Graveler are here to represent Olivia's job of being a jewelry specialist. As for her Lycanroc, I decided to go with the Midday form like in the anime because it's a far better fit than the edgy Midnight form they gave her in the games. I think that Pokemon is better off with someone else. Sophocles. His team will be Togedemaru, Rotom, and Vikavolt. Now Sophocles is all about programming and inventing, so I think giving him a Rotom would be a perfect fit since that's the Pokemon that's all about technology. Plus, Sophocles always seemed to have an interest in them in the anime anyways. Acerola. Her team will be Mimikyu, Banette, and Palossand. Banette is the new addition. It's here to go alongside Mimikyu since they're both dull-like ghost types. If Acerola can have a Mimikyu, then I definitely see her showing some love to the abandoned doll Banette. Nanu. His team will be Absol, Crocodile, Pangoro, and the Alolan Persian. Absol and Pangoro are here because they're much like Nanu. They seem mean and evil on the outside, but actually aren't that bad. Absol is always blamed for causing natural disasters when in fact it's the one that's warning people of it, and Pangoro is a Pokemon that righteously stands up to bullies. They make for great additions to Officer Nanu's team. Mina. Her team will be Shiinotic, Comfey, Wigglytuff, and Ribombee. Comfey is here because it's an Alolan Fairy type that Mina doesn't get for some reason. She should have had one. It fits well with Mina's super chill personality. As for Wigglytuff, it's here to stay to represent at least one fairy type she could have caught while in Kanto. Hapu! Her team will be Golurk, Claydol, Flygon, and Mudsdale. The new addition is Claydol. It's an ancient Pokemon apparently made by primitive people. I think it works well with Hapu since she's the kahuna of the ancient and historical Pony Island. Now as a quick little bonus, let's do Ryuki. His team will be Gabite, Drampa, Druddigon, and Turtonator. The new addition is his Druddigon from the anime, as it's implied that Ryuki could be from Unova. Man, there's a lot of anime in this video, isn't there? And with that, we wrap up the trial captains and kahunas, and now move on to the evil team, Team Skull. These are the Pokemon I believe their grunt should be using. Alolan Rattata, Zubat, Alolan Grimer, Spinarak, Venipede, Scraggy, Yungoos, and Grubbin. Their main specialties are bug and poison types since those are the types used by Plumeria and Guzma. And then there's Scraggy, the perfect little hoodlum for the Team Skull thugs. Next is Plumeria. Her team will be Crobat, Ariados, Alolan Muck, and Salazzle. Alolan Muck is a Pokemon she uses in the post-game once Team Skull is disbanded. Well, she should have had one from the beginning. As for Ariados, it fits with her poison specialty. I imagine Guzma giving it to her. Speaking of which, it's time for your boy Guzma. His team will be Pinsir, Scizor, Scolipede, Vikavolt, and Golisopod. Instead of having Ariados, I gave that to Plumeria so that Guzma could have Scolipede, a much more fearsome poison bug. And then we have Vikavolt. It's here to give Guzma at least one more Alolan bug type. It's a pretty tough one, so I was surprised to find out that Guzma doesn't have one. Now you might think that's it for the antagonist of Alola, but next we have the Aether Foundation. These are the Pokemon I see the employees using: Alolan Sandshrew, Diglett, Geodude, Grimer, Trumbeak, Oranguru, and Passimian. Because Aether Paradise is meant to be a sanctuary for Pokemon, I could see the employees collecting the Alolan forms as they're pretty unique. Then there's Oranguru and Passimian. Not really much of an explanation here other than the fact that they're intelligent Pokemon, so they might seem pretty rare, and they're also version exclusives. Oh yeah, and Trumbeak. That's their Zubat. Faba. His team will be Hypno, Bruxish, Malamar, and Alakazam. The new addition is Malamar because it's an evil psychic type, great fit for the creepy and evil Faba. And then there's Lusamine. Her team will be Clefable, Mismagius, Milotic, Lurantis, Beware, and Nihilego. Lusamine's team seems to be made up of feminine looking Pokemon. I wanted her to have at least one more Alolan Mon aside from Beware, which is why Lurantis is here instead of Lilligant. And then there's Nihilego, a Pokemon I feel like she should have had during your final battle with her in Ultra Deep Sea. I mean, yeah, it was cool to see her in her Mother Beast form, but what was the point if you couldn't battle an actual Ultra Beast, And now that we're done with the antagonist, it's time for the Elite Four, starting with Hala. His team doesn't change much, it's pretty much just adding the throw we gave him in the beginning of the video. So next is Molayne. His team will be Alolan Dugtrio, Magnezone, Bronzong, Alolan Sandslash, and Metagross. Alolan Sandslash is a Pokemon he uses in the original Sun and Moon, but doesn't in the Ultra games. I feel like it works well because it's a Pokemon from Ula Ula, the island Molayne is from. As for Bronzong, it's here to go alongside his Metagross. Elite Four Olivia. Her team will be Carbink, Probopass, Alolan Golem, Armaldo, and Lycanroc. This one is just a matter of mixing her Elite Four team with the new team I gave her earlier. Elite Four Acerola. Her team will be Mimikyu, Banette, Dhelmise, Jellicent, and Palossand. Because Acerola has a Palossand and Dhelmise, two ghost types that can be found near the ocean, I can see her having a Jellicent as well, as it's a ghost type that can be found in the water. Kahili. Her team will be Skarmory, Swanna, Oricorio, Braviary, and Toucannon. This team keeps the Skarmory from the Sun and Moon games and also gives her a Swanna cause, her hair kinda looks like a Swanna. And now it's time for the champion equivalent of the Alola region, Professor Kukui. His team will be Lycanroc, Hawlucha, Turtonator, Alolan Ninetales, Kommo-o, and Incineroar. Hawlucha's here because I think he'll be the perfect Pokemon to represent Kukui's alter ego, the Masked Royal. They are both wrestlers after all, and if that wasn't enough, I believe his canonical starter should be Incineroar, just like in the anime. As for the rest of his team, because Kukui is supposed to be the strongest trainer in Alola, and he is the one to establish the Alola League, I thought it would be cool if the rest of his team each represented one of the 4 islands of Alola. So we have Lycanroc for Melee, Turtonator for Akala, Ninetales for Ula Ula, and finally Kommo-o for Pony. Yeah, I know you can't catch Turtonator and Akala, but still, it's the Alola Pokemon that perfectly represents Willa Volcano. Now let's conclude with the rivals. First up is Hau. His team will be Tauros, Alolan Raichu, Slurpuff, Noivern, Crabominable, and Decidueye. Although the games makes Hau choose a starter that is weak to the player, I don't really think it should be that way. The starter that fits best with Elio and Celine in my opinion is Poplio. That way Hau can get Rowlet and Kukui gets Litten. That way Hau could get his Decidueye like in the anime because they make such a good pair. As for Slurpuff, it's here because of Hau's love for sweets like Malasada's. Raichu's whole thing is that it loves pancakes, so I think he'd have another Pokemon that has a thing for sweets. Last but not least, we have Gladion. His team will be Crobat, Umbreon, Weavile, Zoroark, Midnight Lycanroc, and Silvally. When combining Gladion's in-game team and his anime team, you'll notice they all have a few similarities. Most of them either A, evolve in the night like Weavile and Lycanroc, or B, evolve via friendship like Crobat and Silvally. What brings this team all together is Umbreon, because it's a Pokemon that requires both the nighttime and friendship to evolve. So honestly, these all work well for him. And that wraps up all the new team changes I'd make to all the major trainers in the Alola region. Next up is the Galar region, so let me know what changes you'd like to see me make for them. But for now, thank you all for watching this video everyone, make sure to live your life to the fullest, and have yourself a damn good one.